Let's go somewhere not far, not expensive, not carefully planned, just somewhere that isn't here. The sky is still light enough, the evening hasn't settled yet, and the air feels like it's waiting for us to decide something. So let's not overthink it, let's just go.
You look at me like you're half joking, but I can see you mean it. Where I ask, you shrug and smile.
Anywhere there's something freeing about not needing coordinates.
No reservations, no fixed destination,
Just two people stepping out the door.
because staying in feels too predictable tonight.
Sometimes the best moments begin without certainty. Let's go somewhere with no map in our hands. Let's go somewhere without detailed plans. We don't need directions, just each other.
We grab our jackets without checking the forecast. You lock the door twice just to be sure.
I tease you about it, you roll your eyes. The street feels different when we walk it without purpose.
No errands, no schedule, just movement.
Just possibility, even the familiar sidewalks feel slightly new.
Familiar places shift when intention changes.
Let's go somewhere, wherever this road bends. Let's go somewhere, see where the evening ends. No pressure to impress, just presence.
We pass a cafe we've never tried. You hesitate for a second.
Should we?
I nod before you finish the sentence. Inside the lights are warm, not crowded, not empty either.
We sit by the window like we belong there. Not because we planned it, but because we chose it.
Choosing together creates ownership.
Let's go somewhere, even if it's small. Let's go somewhere, no need for it all.
A simple table and it's enough.
And it's enough. You tell me about something random that crossed your mind earlier.
I respond with something equally random. The conversation doesn't need structure.
It flows because it wants to. We laugh a little louder than we expected.
Not to attract attention, but because the moment earned it.
There's a lightness that only shows up when we allow it.
Spontaneity loosens the weight of routine.
Let's go somewhere past what we know. Let's go some. No need for it all. A simple table, and it's enough.
You tell me about something random.
That crossed your mind earlier.
I respond with something equally random.
The conversation doesn't need structure.
It flows because it wants to.
We laugh a little louder than we expected.
Not to attract attention,
But because the moment earned it.
there's a lightness that only shows up
When we allow it. Spontaneity loosens the weight of routine. Let's go somewhere past what we know. Let's go somewhere.
No need for it all. A simple table
And it up. You tell me about something random that crossed your mind earlier.
I respond with something equally when we know.
Every conversation, it feels it's close. Let's go somewhere, following what feels most like us in this moment. We walk without checking the time. You suggest turning left instead of right.
I agree, just because there's something comforting about shared decision making that doesn't feel heavy.
We're not planning a future here, we're not solving life. We're simply creating a small pocket of now that didn't exist before. Now is powerful when chosen intentionally.
Let's go somewhere
Where the lights are low, let's go somewhere. See how far we go, not measured in miles,
but in laughter.
Years from now, we might not remember the name of the cafe or which street we turned onto, but I think we'll remember how easy it felt to say yes, how light the evening was, how two simple words
Let's go.
open the moment we didn't have to plan to enjoy.
Yes is a door to possibility.
Let's go somewhere again and again. Let's go somewhere, not knowing when we'll return and loving that.
We don't need perfect timing to create something meaningful.
Sometimes all it takes is the willingness to step outside routine and trust that wherever we land, we'll make it ours.
Let's go where no script, no blueprint, just us.
So the next time the evening feels undecided and the air carries that quiet invitation, let's not hesitate, let's grab our jackets, lock the door and step into something unplanned.
Because the best moments aren't always waiting.
Sometimes we make them by simply saying, let's go. Made this afternoon out of nothing special. No occasion circled on a calendar, no reason big enough to announce. Just sunlight falling through half-open curtains, dust floating quietly in the air, and you looking at me like the day could be shaped into something better. You said, let's not waste it, not in a serious way, just softly like you were suggesting. We open a window, so we did. We opened the window and in the moment, music played from your phone, not loud, just present. The kind that makes you sway without realizing. Sometimes a day waits to be touched. We made this afternoon out of thin air and light. We made this afternoon feel softer than it should. Nothing dramatic, just intentional.
You moved the table aside, clearing space in the living room. I laughed at how serious you looked about rearranging furniture for something that had no purpose. But that was the point, it didn't need one.
We weren't preparing for guests, we weren't hosting anything. We were just making room for us, making space, creates possibility. We made this afternoon with bare feet on the floor. We made this afternoon wanting nothing more. No invitation required, we chose it. You pulled me closer by the wrist, not urgently, just playfully. We danced without choreography, no audience, no mirror to check ourselves, just laughter when we stepped wrong and kept going anyway. The sunlight shifted gradually, painting everything warmer, even the ordinary walls. like it was something precious. I drank it like it mattered. We talked about nothing urgent, just fragments of thoughts we never finished before. The kind of conversation that only happens when time isn't tight. Unrushed hours invite honesty. We made this afternoon between silence and song. We made this afternoon exactly where we belong. No headline moment, just ours. Later we sat on the floor, backs against the couch, breathing slower. Now you handed me a glass of water like it was something precious. I drank it like it mattered. We don't need grand occasions to feel alive. Sometimes all it takes is a little rearranging of furniture, of mindset, of routine. We weren't escaping responsibility. We were pausing, intentionally choosing joy in a pocket of time that could have been forgotten. Joy often hides in unused minutes. We made this afternoon again if we choose. We made this afternoon with nothing to lose, just two people deciding yes. We don't need grand occasions to feel alive. Sometimes all it takes is a little rearranging of furniture, of mindset, of routine. We made this afternoon out of sunlight, out of laughter, out of us. So when the day feels plain and unremarkable, we'll remember this, that moments aren't always found. Sometimes they're shaped by small decisions and shared willingness. And if we can make an ordinary afternoon feel like this, then there's no telling how many more we'll create together. Sometimes a day waits to be touched. We made this afternoon out again if we choose. We made this afternoon with nothing to lose, just two people deciding yes. We don't need grand occasions to feel alive. Sometimes all it takes is a little rearranging of furniture, of mindset, of routine. We made this afternoon out of sunlight, out of laughter, out of us. So when the day feels plain and unremarkable, we'll remember this, that moments aren't always found. Sometimes they're shaped by small decisions and shared willingness. And if we can make an ordinary afternoon feel like this, then there's no telling how many more we'll create together. Just because we can, that's reason enough tonight. No deadline chasing us, no allegation calling our names. The evening feels open-ended, like an unfinished sentence, waiting to be completed by something spontaneous. You look at me with that quiet spark, the one that says routine can wait. could stay in, scroll separately, let the hours blur quietly. But instead you say, let's do something random. I ask like what, you shrug, smiling, that's the point. There's something freeing about not attaching meaning to every choice, about moving without overanalyzing. Freedom grows when reasons aren't required. Just because we can, let's take the long way home. Just because we can, leave comfort zones alone. No explanation needed, we choose it.
We drive without a destination set, music low but steady, windows crack slightly. The city lights flicker past like they're part of the plan, even though there isn't one. You reach over to adjust the volume. Our fingers brush briefly, that small contact feels intentional, even if the drive isn't.
Small touches anchor spontaneous moment. Just because we can, turn left instead of right. Just because we can, stretch this into night. No milestone ahead, just motion.
We stop at a place we never noticed before, not trendy, not recommended, just there. You say why not,
and we step inside like it was waiting for us. The seats aren't perfect, the lighting isn't curated, but the laughter is real and that's enough. Enough is powerful when chosen willingly. Just because we can, let's order something new. Just because we can, break what we usually do. No need for applause, just joy.
I realize something quietly. It's not about the place, not about the food, not about the route we took. It's about saying yes to the moment before it disappears, about deciding that happiness doesn't always
need justification. Sometimes it just needs courage. Courage can be light and playful. Just because we can, let's order something new. Just because we can, let the world grow softer. No ran rebellion, just a sliver.
I realize something quietly. It's not about the place, not about the food, not about the route we took. It's about saying yes to the moment before it disappears, about deciding that happiness doesn't always need justification. Sometimes it just needs courage. Courage can be light and playful. Just because we can, laugh a little louder. Just because we can, let the world grow softer. No one grading us, just us living. I realize something quietly. It's not about the place, not about the food, not about the route we took. It's about saying yes to the moment before it disappears, about deciding
that happiness doesn't always need justification. Sometimes it just needs courage. Courage can be light and playful. Just because we can, laugh a little louder. Just because we can, ignore the clock's wait. No urgency pulling, just choice. On the way back the air feels different, not because the city changed, but because we did. There's something about creating a moment that makes everything else feel less rigid. You glance at me like you're glad we didn't stay predictable. I feel the same. Predictability isn't wrong, but variation keeps us alive. Just because we can, let's rewrite tonight. Just because we can, ignore the clock's wait. No urgency calling, just choice.
We don't need life-altering decisions to feel bold. Sometimes the bravest thing is stepping slightly outside routine and trusting that wherever we land we'll make it mean and thrive.
Just because we can,
no heavy reason, no grand design, just yes.
So the next time the night feels open and routine tries to settle in, let's remember this, that some of our favorite memories were born not from necessity, but from simple permission. Permission to move, permission to choose, permission to say why not. Just because we can. Just because we can. Stay out a little longer, the night doesn't feel finished yet. Streetlights glow like quiet invitations, casting soft gold along the pavement. The sky is dark but not heavy, cool but not unwelcoming. There's a gentle hum in the air, like the city breathing slower now. We could go home, we probably should, but something about this moment feels incomplete if we cut it short.
You check the time briefly, then slide your phone back into your pocket. I pretend not to notice, but I do. There's a shared understanding between us. Responsibility waits at home. Morning will arrive soon enough, yet the conversation hasn't thinned, the laughter hasn't faded. The night still feels warm around our shoulders. When something feels alive, it deserves a few more minutes. Stay out a little longer, let the clock be wrong. Stay out a little longer, stretch this into song. Tomorrow can wait, tonight is ours. We walk without rushing, matching pace naturally. Your hand brushes mine until fingers finally intertwine. No announcement, no drama, just instinct.
Cars pass in the distance, their headlights briefly crossing our path. For a moment we're illuminated, then softly return to our own small world.
Small worlds can exist in open streets.
Stay out a little longer, under quiet lights. Stay out a little longer, in these softened nights. No grand destination, just presence.
We stop near a corner cafe that's already closed. Chairs stacked neatly inside, lights dim but still glowing. You joke about knocking just to ask for one more drink.
I laugh and shake my head, the absurdity of it makes the moment lighter. It's not about what's available, it's about not wanting to end the feeling.
Lingering isn't rebellion, its appreciation. Stay out a little longer, even if it's late. Stay out a little longer before routine resets our state. No need to rush back, not yet. We sit on a bench that wasn't part of any plan. The wood is cool beneath us. You lean back and stretch your legs. I lean closer without thinking. There's a softness in your voice when you tell another story. Not louder than before, just more open, without the pressure of time. Words breathe differently. Breathing room makes connection deeper. Stay out a little longer, past what we planned. Stay out a little longer, hands still in hand. No schedule dictating, just choice. The night grows quieter in ways we only notice when we slow down. Fewer cars, less distant chatter. Even the wind feels softer. You rest your head briefly against my shoulder. It's subtle, but it shifts everything. The bench feels warmer, the city feels farther away. Warmth isn't temperature, it's proximity. Stay out a little longer, ignore the ticking sound. Stay out a little longer, let time bend around it. Steady happiness, eventually we stand, but not because we're forced to. We just wanna walk again. Our pace is slower now, the kind of pace that isn't heading anywhere urgent. You squeeze my hand lightly, not as a signal to leave, but as reassurance that whenever we do, we leave together. Together changes everything. Stay out a little longer, under fading stars. Stay out a little longer, no matter how far. We've already wandered. Years from now, I won't remember the exact time we stayed out. I won't recall how many blocks we passed or which bench we chose, but I'll remember the decision, that quiet agreement to not rush something good, that gentle refusal to let a beautiful night end too neatly, that shared willingness to linger. Something warm creates lasting memories. Stay out a little longer, again and again. Stay out a little longer, beyond what if and when. No final line, just us. We don't need dramatic escapes to feel alive. Sometimes the boldest thing is simply choosing not to hurry away from something that feels right. Stay out a little longer, still glowing. So when the next night wraps around us gently and the air feels forgiving, let's remember this, that some moments fade only because we let them. And sometimes love is nothing more than two people choosing to stay a little longer and expect it. Kind of spontaneous, isn't reckless or loud. It doesn't break rules or chase chaos. It slips in quietly between routine and intention, between a glance and a smile that means why not. It's subtle, but it changes everything.
You don't burst through the door with dramatic plans. You simply say, let's do something different. No pressure in your voice, no urgency, just possibility. I tilt my head and ask different how. You shrug lightly, that's what makes it fun. And somehow that answer is enough. Fun doesn't always need a blueprint. Our kind of spontaneous, soft and unplanned. Our kind of spontaneous, led by an open hand. No chaos involved, just choice.
Maybe it's taking a side street we've never tried before. Maybe it's stopping for dessert even though we're full. Maybe it's turning the music up and letting the room feel different.
Nothing extreme, nothing dramatic, just small shifts that wake up the ordinary.
Small shifts create new energy. Our kind of spontaneous,
changing little things.
our kind of spontaneous.
See what it brings. No need to escape life, just refresh it.
I think that's what I love most.
We don't chase unpredictability.
We invite it gently.
We don't break structure, we bend it slightly. And in that bend we find something lighter, like opening a window in a room that didn't realize it needed air. Fresh air clears routine. Our kind of spontaneous, laughing mid-sentence. Our kind of spontaneous, free from overthinking. No script required, just willingness.
You once suggested a midnight drive for coffee. Not because we were bored, not because we needed caffeine, just because the night felt open. We didn't tell anyone, we didn't document it.
We simply went, and the simplicity of that made it unforgettable. Unshared moments can feel more personal. Our kind of spontaneous, past what we expect. Our kind of spontaneous, quietly correct. No rebellion, just aliveness.
There's trust inside it too. Trust that a sudden idea won't derail us. Trust that a slight detour won't confuse us. We know where we're headed in life, so changing the route tonight
Doesn't scare us, it just has.
security makes room for play.
Our kind of spontaneous, safe but bright. Our kind of spontaneous, stretching the night. No instability, just spark. Even at home we find ways to shift the air, rearrange the cushions, cook something new. Dance without warning in the middle of cleaning. It's not about breaking routine, it's about reminding ourselves that routine is ours to shape.
Ownership invites creativity.
Our kind of spontaneous, simple and true. Our kind of spontaneous, me and you. No audience watching, just us living.
Years from now I won't remember every spontaneous choice, but I'll remember how safe it felt to say yes.
How light it felt to shift direction without fear. How love didn't limit possibility, it expanded it.
Suspension keeps connection alive.
Our kind of spontaneous, again We don't need disorder to feel alive. Sometimes spontaneity is simply remembering that we're allowed to change the mood whenever we want. Our kind of spontaneous,
Soft, steady, still surprising.
our kind of spontaneous. So the next time routine feels a little too firm, let's loosen it gently. Not to escape, not to prove anything, but to remind ourselves that even inside stability, there's room to play. And in that room, we'll keep creating moments that feel fresh, intentional, and beautifully ours. Midnight ice cream wasn't part of any plan. The house was quiet, lights mostly off. The world already half asleep. You were brushing your teeth when you stopped mid-motion and said through foam, I want something sweet. I laughed because I knew exactly what that meant. We checked the freezer first just in case empty. You looked at me like this was unacceptable. Should we? You didn't finish the question, you didn't need to. The clock said it was late, common sense said stay in. But craving doesn't always respect reason, and neither did we. Some cravings are invitations. Midnight ice cream under sleepy skies. Midnight ice cream, no clever disguise. We didn't need a reason, just a yes.
We grabbed jackets over pajamas, not bothering to look polished. You tied your shoes loosely, promising you'd fix them later. The street outside felt different at that hour, quieter, more forgiving. Streetlights hummed softly, windows were dark. It felt like the world belonged only to us.
Late nights make space feel private. Midnight ice cream, cold air on our skin. Midnight ice cream, laughter tucked in. No big rebellion, just sweetness. The convenience store clerk barely looked up. We stood too long in front of the freezer, debating flavors like it was life-changing. You insisted on chocolate, I suggested something lighter. We ended up choosing both, compromise, but with sprinkles. Shared indulgence tastes better. Midnight ice cream, plastic spoons in hand. Midnight ice cream, exactly as planned, even though it wasn't. We didn't rush home.
Instead we sat on the curb outside the store. The pavement still held a little warmth from earlier. You opened yours first, took a dramatic bite, and declared it perfect. I teased you, but smiled anyway. The quiet street felt like a backdrop to something unexpectedly special. Special doesn't require ceremony.
Midnight ice cream melting too fast. Midnight ice cream, hoping this lasts. No spotlight above, just us. There's something about doing something small at the wrong time that makes it unforgettable. We weren't celebrating anything, we weren't escaping anything. We just wanted sweetness at an hour that didn't usually allow it. And that choice, that simple defiance of routine, felt playful. Playfulness keeps love awake. Midnight ice cream under neon glow. laughed when it dripped slightly. I wiped it away with the edge of a napkin. It was messy, it was silly, it was entirely ours. Messy moments are honest ones. Midnight ice cream through quiet street. Midnight ice cream, unexpected treats. No major event, just memory. Years from now I won't remember the exact brand we chose or how much it cost, but I'll remember how the air felt cooler, how your laughter echoed softly down an empty block, how something so small felt like a secret celebration. Not because it was grand, but because we decided to make it happen. Deception creates memory. Midnight ice cream. Midnight ice cream again if we crave. Midnight ice cream, small and brave. No excuse required, just sweetness. We don't need big trips to feel alive. Sometimes a short walk and a shared spoon is enough to remind us that joy is accessible at any hour. Midnight ice cream. Cool air, warm hands still smiling. So the next time a craving appears when the world is asleep, let's not dismiss it. Let's grab our jackets again, step into the quiet street and chase something simple. Because sometimes love tastes best at midnight, cold, sweet and completely unexpected. Turn the music up, not too loud, just enough to change the air. The room looks the same as always. Lamps glowing warm, a blanket tossed across the couch, mugs left on the table from earlier. Nothing cinematic, nothing dramatic, until you reach for your phone. Scroll once and press play, and suddenly the ordinary space feels awake. Settle softly, almost testing the room. You look at me like you're waiting to see if I'll protest. I pretend to hesitate, raising an eyebrow playfully. You increase the volume just a little more. The bass hums gently through the floorboards. It's subtle, but I feel it in my chest, like the week loosening its grip. Music doesn't ask permission, it simply ships things. Turn the music up, let the walls breathe. Turn the music up, shake off the week. No performance needed, just space. You clear a small path between the couch and the table, not dramatically, just enough to move freely. I laugh at how serious you look about something so spontaneous. You extend your hand without saying a word. It's not formal, not theatrical, just an open palm that says, come here. Invitation is sometimes enough. Turn the music up, bare feet on the floor. Turn the music up, close the open door. The outside can wait, we're here. We don't dance perfectly, we don't even try to. You spin too quickly, once I stumble then laugh. You steady me by the waist, both of us smiling wider than planned. There's no choreo like dancing and more like remembering how to feel light. Lightness returns when self-consciousness fades. Turn the music up, feel it in your chest. Turn the music up, forget the rest. No one grading us, just movement. The playlist shifts unexpectedly. A slower track replaces the upbeat one. The tempo drops, so do we. Our steps soften, your forehead brushes mine. Your hand slides to my back, not urgently, just securely. The energy changes from playful to close, and the room feels warmer than it did before. Warmth builds in, slowing down. Turn the music up, even when it's slow. Turn the music up, let connection show. No stage lights needed, just us. I notice something then, how easily we transition from laughter to calm, from spinning wildly to standing still. Your breathing matches mine without trying. The song hums behind us, but it's no longer the focus. The focus is this closeness, this shared rhythm that didn't need rehearsal. Shared rhythm creates quiet intimacy. Turn the music up, through highs and lows. Turn the music up, see where it goes. No script written, just feeling. Eventually we stop moving, but we don't step apart. Your hands remain where they are. The music continues, filling the room like a soft current. You whisper something, half lost in the melody. I lean closer to hear you. That closeness lingers, even after the song changes. Volume can fade, connection doesn't. Turn the music up, let the night expand. Turn the music up, hand in hand. No grand audience, just presence. Years from now I won't remember which exact track was playing, but I'll remember the shift, how pressing play became permission to loosen up, to laugh louder, to move without fear of looking foolish. I'll remember how one small action transformed a quiet evening into something alive. Not extraordinary, just intentional. Turn the music up, creates lasting memory. Turn the music up, again and again. Turn the music up, be and if and when. No grand concert, just life. We don't need crowded rooms or flashing lights to feel alive. Sometimes the most meaningful stage is the living room floor, with nothing but a steady beat and two willing hearts choosing to move. Turn the music up, turn the music up. Slow breath, warm hands, still here. So when routine feels heavy and the evening grows too quiet, let's remember how simple it was to change everything. One tap, one song, one raised volume. Because sometimes love isn't whispered, it's played a little louder, felt a little deeper, and lived right here between window seat for two, Not because it's the best spot, but because it feels like ours. Lights building softly, casting quiet shapes across the table. Outside the world continues. Cars moving, people passing, clouds shifting slowly. Inside we sit close enough to share the same view. You slide into the seat first, then gesture for me to sit beside you. Not across, beside, shoulders nearly touching, our knees brush lightly. Under the table is subtle but intentional. There's something about facing the same direction that feels different, like we're watching life as a team. Shared perspective changes everything. Window seat for two, sunlight on your face. Window seat for two, our small chosen space. The world moves outside, we stay still. You're calling on a stranger, walking too quickly. I add a story we invent on the spot. We turn passing moments into quiet entertainment. Nothing important, nothing permanent, but the act of noticing together makes the scene feel personal, like we're co-authoring what we see. Attention shared becomes connection. Window seat for two, clouds drifting by. Window seat for two, under open sky. No need for center stage, this is enough. Sometimes it's a cafe, sometimes it's a train, sometimes it's just our couch angled toward the glass. The setting shifts, but the feeling stays. We lean slightly toward the window, then toward each other. There's comfort in watching movement while staying grounded. Stillness feels richer with motion nearby. Window seat for two, rain tracing lines. Window seat for two, quiet intertwined. No rush to leave, not yet. The light changes gradually, golden hour melts into something softer. Your reflection appears faintly in the glass beside the street outside. I notice how calm you look when you're not thinking about being observed, just existing, just here. And somehow that feels more intimate than any grand gesture. Intimacy hides in unguarded moments. Window seat for two, shadows growing long. Window seat for two, where we belong. No headline memory, just warmth. We don't always talk, sometimes we just sit, with drinks half finished and thoughts half formed. The glass reflects city lights now. Your hand finds mine resting between us. Not dramatic, not deliberate, just a quiet reminder that even while looking outward, we're connected inward. Outward views don't weaken closeness. Window seat for two, city glowing bright. Window seat for two, softening in a night. No need for spectacle, this is ours. There's something comforting about sharing a view, not debating directions, not arguing about where to look, just sitting shoulder to shoulder, letting our eyes travel along the same horizon. It feels symbolic but not forced, like outside is a reminder that we're moving forward.
just us.
We don't need perfect scenery to feel connected. Sometimes all it takes is sitting side by side, watching the world move past while choosing to remain close.
Window seat for two.
Shared light, shared silence, shared horizon. So wherever we find ourselves, cafe corners, train rides, living room evenings, let's keep choosing the same side. Let's keep sharing the view, because sometimes love isn't about changing the world outside. It's about sitting beside someone and watching it together. We didn't plan this, not the timing, not the place, not the way the evening shifted so easily. It was supposed to be ordinary. A quick stop, a short conversation, nothing worth remembering. And yet here we are, standing still inside something we never scheduled. You said it would only take a minute. I said I'd wait in the car, but somehow I ended up walking beside you. And 1 minute turned into five, five turned into laughter, laughter turned into a story we didn't expect to tell. The sky was already changing color before either of us noticed. Time didn't announce its passing, it simply moved while we were busy being present. Present stretches moments without asking.
We didn't plan this, the way it feels so right. We didn't plan this, staying past twilight. No agenda written, just happening.
There was no perfect setup, no carefully chosen music, no curated lighting, just a street corner cafe we almost walked past. You paused for a second and said, should we?
Not because it looked special, but because it looked open, and that was enough.
Open doors invite unexpected warmth.
We didn't plan this, sitting side by side. We didn't plan this, letting the moment decide. No big intention, just yes.
The conversation wasn't profound. We didn't solve life. We didn't make promises. We talked about something random, something small, something that made you tilt your head and laugh a little louder than usual. And that laugh shifted the air and made the evening feel lighter, as if it had been waiting for that sound.
Laughter rewrites atmosphere.
We didn't plan this, the way it came alive. We didn't plan this, but it began to thrive. No grand design, just flow. I think that's what surprised me most, how natural it felt. No effort to impress, no need to orchestrate. We weren't trying to create a memory, we were just existing without rushing away. And somehow that made it memorable. Memories form where comfort lives. We didn't plan this, some of it had meaning for that side. Laughter rewrites atmosphere. We didn't plan this, the way it came alive. We didn't plan us, no need to orchestrate. We weren't trying to create a memory. We were just existing without rushing away, and somehow that made it memorable. Memories form where comfort lives. We didn't plan this under fading skies. We didn't plan this, no rehearsed replies, no perfect script, just us. Eventually we realized how late it had become. Not dangerously late, just later than expected. You looked at me with that expression, half surprised, half satisfied. Should we go, you asked, but neither of us moved immediately, because leaving felt like interrupting something gentle. Gentle moments deserve soft endings. We didn't plan this, but it felt complete. We didn't plan this, standing in the street, no announcement needed, just knowing. Years from now, I won't remember what exact day it was. I won't remember what we wore or what we ordered, but I'll remember the ease. How nothing felt forced, how spontaneity didn't feel chaotic, how two ordinary people stumble into something warm simply by not rushing away. That's what stays. Ease is unforgettable. We didn't plan this, again if we can. We didn't plan this beyond any plan, no strategy involved, just openness. We spend so much time organizing our lives, calendars, schedules, expectations, but sometimes the best chapters are written in the margins, in the spaces. We didn't outline, we didn't plan this, no warning, no blueprint, still perfect. So the next time a moment arrives quietly, without announcement, without preparation, let's not rush past it. Let's stay long enough to see what unfolds, because sometimes the most meaningful memories aren't crafted, they're discovered when we allow life to surprise us together. Chasing small sunsets, not the dramatic kind you see on postcards, not the ones that demand applause, just the quiet kind that slips between buildings, resting briefly on rooftops before fading into evening. You said it's almost that time, and I knew exactly what you meant. We weren't dressed for anything special, no plans for dinner, no reservations waiting. You just grabbed your keys and said, let's catch it. Not like it was urgent, but like it mattered. The sky was already shifting, blue softening into something warmer. And suddenly the ordinary day felt like it had a destination. Sometimes beauty requires slight effort, chasing small sunsets before they disappear, chasing small sunsets, drawing the evening near. No crowd around us, just light. We walked up the short hill behind the neighborhood scenic on most days. Just grass, a few uneven stones, a bench that's slightly tilted. But at this hour, everything changes. The light turns forgiving, edges soften. Even the simplest view feels intentional. Light reshapes what we think we know. Chasing small sunsets, gold against gray. Chasing small sunsets, closing the day. No spectacle required, just presence. You stand slightly ahead of me, hands in your pockets, watching the horizon. I stand beside you, not speaking at first. The sky shifts from amber to blush, from blush to quiet violet. We don't rush to comment, we let it unfold. There's something sacred about watching change without interrupting it. Silence can honor beauty. Chasing small sunsets side by side. Chasing small sunsets with nothing to hide. No need for proof, we're here. The breeze brushes past, cooler now. You glance at me briefly, just to see if I'm watching too. A nod without words, that shared her glance says enough. It says we chose this, it says this mattered. It says even a simple sky can feel meaningful when we arrive together. Shared arrival deepens experience. Chasing small sunsets before night falls. Chasing small sunset, answering quiet calls. No dramatic ending, just glow. A breeze brushes past, cooler now. You glance at me briefly, just to see if I'm watching too. A nod without words, that shared her glance says enough. It says we chose this, it says this mattered. It says even a simple sky can feel meaningful when we arrive together. Shared arrival deepens experience. Chasing small sunset whenever we can. Chasing small sunset again and again. No need to capture, just remember. The sun slips slower, almost shy about leaving. Buildings cast longer shadows. The colors fade gradually, not abruptly. You sigh softly, not disappointed, just acknowledging that the moment is changing again. We don't try to hold it, we just stand there, letting it finish. Letting go is part of beauty. Chasing small sunset and ever again. Chasing small sunset again and again. No need to capture, just remember. As the sky darkens, the city lights begin to wake. It's less golden now, more silver and soft. You nudge me gently as if to say it's time, but neither of us moves right away. Because even the fading feels worth witnessing. Witnessing is its own reward. Chasing small sunsets through quiet air. Chasing small sunset, aware we're there. No applause needed, just us. Years from now, I won't remember which exact hill we stood on or how many minutes it lasted, but I remember that we made the effort, that we stepped outside for something fleeting, that we didn't wait for perfect landscapes or dramatic skies. We found beauty in something small and chose to meet it together. Chasing small sunsets whenever we can. Chasing small sunsets without a great plan. No need for postcards, this is enough. We don't need extraordinary views to feel alive. Sometimes all it takes is noticing the light as it changes and deciding not to miss it. Chasing small sunsets, gold fading, hands brushing still warm. So the next time the sky begins to soften, disappears, because love isn't only in grand gestures. Sometimes it lives in the effort to witness something brief together. Laughing at nothing, or at least nothing important. No punchline prepared, no clever setup. Just a look you gave me that shouldn't have been funny, but somehow was the kind of laughter that starts small and then refuses to stop. The kind that makes the room feel lighter without trying. Sitting too close on the couch again, pretending to scroll through something that neither of us was really watching. You misread a word out loud, confident and completely wrong. I corrected you, but in a way that made it worse. And suddenly we were stuck in that loop of giggles that doesn't need logic. Logic doesn't stand a chance against shared humor. Laughing at nothing, tears in our eyes. Laughing at nothing, no need to be wise, no audience needed, just us. Explain why it was funny, that only made it worse. I tried to stop laughing, covering my face with a pillow. You said my laugh was contagious, I said yours was ridiculous. And somehow that turned into another wave we couldn't escape. Some joy multiplies without permission. Laughing at nothing, voices out of sync. Laughing at nothing, barely able to think. No big reason behind it, just release. There's something freeing about laughter without context. No explanation required, no deeper meaning attached. Just the sound of us letting go of composure for a few minutes. The kind of laughter that leaves your stomach sore and your guard down. Guard down means trust up. Laughing at nothing, heads leaning close. Laughing at nothing in the quiet we chose. No polished version, just read. At some point we both tried to stop, tried to breathe normally, tried to return to the original topic. But every time our eyes met it started again, because the joke wasn't even the point anymore. The point was the connection, the way we understood each other's rhythm without effort. Understand and create shared language. Laughing at nothing through tangled words. Laughing at nothing like two free birds. No performance required, just comfort. Eventually the laughter softened, not abruptly, just gently fading into quiet smiles. You wiped the corner of your eye dramatically. I nudged your shoulder lightly. The room felt different now, not louder but warmer, like the air itself it shifted closer. Warmth lingers after joy passes, laughing at nothing, still catching our breath, laughing at nothing, forgetting the stress, no problem solved, but lighter. I realize something then, these moments aren't loud in the world's eyes, they won't show up on highlight reels, no one else would understand why we couldn't stop laughing, but that's what makes them ours. Inside jokes, unplanned reactions, tiny explosions of joy that belong only to us. Private joy strengthens bonds, laughing at nothing, in any view, laughing at nothing because we do. No external reason, just chemistry. Years from now, I won't remember what started it. I won't recall the exact mispronounced word or the silly expression you made, but I'll remember how safe it felt to lose composure with you, how easy it was to be unfiltered, how laughter without purpose became proof that we were comfortable enough to just be. Comfort invites freedom, comfort at nothing again and again, laughing at nothing without a when, no script to follow, just us. We don't need constant seriousness to prove depth. Sometimes the strongest connections are built between shared breaths of uncontrollable laughter. Laughing at nothing, soft smiles, steady eyes still closed, so the next time a moment feels silly or a joke goes too far, let's not correct it too quickly. Let's let it unfold, let's allow ourselves to laugh without explanation, because sometimes love isn't about grand declarations, it's about two people sitting too close on a couch, laughing at nothing and feeling completely at home. The night feels ours, not because the world stopped, but because it slowed down enough for us to notice the lights outside are softer, the noise a little distant. No invitations waiting, no obligations pressing in, just a quiet stretch of hours that seems to belong to whoever chooses to claim it. And somehow we did. You locked the door without rush, like there was nowhere else to be. I turned off the brighter lamp and left the smaller one glow in the room. Shifted instantly, not darker, just gentler. You said it's better like this, and I knew you didn't mean the lighting, you meant the pace, the atmosphere, the absence of hurry, absence of hurry. Create space to feel. Tonight feels ours, no one knocking in. Tonight feels ours, where quiet can begin. No performance required, just presence. We didn't plan anything elaborate, no movie queued up, no game prepared. We just sat down close enough for shoulders to touch naturally. Your knee brushed mine, you didn't move away, neither did I. Outside, a car passed slowly, headlights sliding across the ceiling for a brief second before disappearing. Can make a moment glow. Tonight feels ours under softened light. Tonight feels us stretching into night. No crowd around us, just us. You started telling a story about something small from your day. Not dramatic, not heavy, just something you noticed. I listened fully, not because it was urgent, but because it was yours. And in the middle of it, you paused, realizing you didn't need to summarize or shorten it. There was time. Time given freely deepens connection. Tonight feels ours with nothing to prove. Tonight feels ours, no need to improve, no edits needed, just honesty. At some point, conversation softened into silence. Not awkward, not uncertain, just comfortable. Your hand found mine without ceremony, fingers resting loosely, not gripping, not claiming, just confirming that we were here together. Confirmation doesn't need volume. Tonight feels ours, steady and slow. Tonight feels ours, letting tension go. No rush to tomorrow, not yet. The clock ticks somewhere behind us, but it didn't feel threatening. Time wasn't running out, it was simply moving. You leaned your head slightly against my shoulder, just enough to change the weight of the moment. And that small shift felt significant, like a quiet agreement to stay like this a little longer. Small agreements shape memory. Tonight feels ours, wrapped in calm air. Tonight feels ours, nothing to repair, no grand event, just closeness. I realized then that ownership of a moment isn't loud. It doesn't demand applause, it's subtle. It's choosing to be fully here instead of elsewhere. Choosing not to check notifications, choosing not to multitask, choosing to let silence exist without filling it. Choosing presence creates intimacy. Tonight feels ours without explanation. Tonight feels ours, pure conversation. No outside noise, just rhythm. Years from now, I won't remember the exact date of this night. I won't recall what we wore, what time we fell asleep, but I'll remember how grounded it felt, how uncomplicated, how two people in an ordinary room decided to treat a quiet evening like it mattered, because it did. Meaning is often chosen. Tonight feels elegant if we decide. Tonight feels ours with nothing to hide. No headline story, just us. We don't need fireworks to feel connected. We don't need dramatic turns to validate love. Sometimes all it takes is claiming a stretch of hours and saying this belongs to us tonight. Feels our soft breath, warm hands uninterrupted. So when the next evening arrives, quietly without promise of spectacle, let's claim it again. Let's dim the lights, slow the pace, and sit close enough to feel the shift. Because some nights aren't extraordinary, they're simply chosen. And that choice is what makes them ours. Moments we make, not the ones that happen loudly, not the ones that demand attention, but the quiet ones we choose deliberately. A turnkey, a held hand, a yes spoken softly. Little decisions that don't look dramatic, but shape everything. Looking back now, I realize how often we created something out of nothing. A random drive, a late night craving, a song played too loud. None of it was necessary, none of it was urgent, but each time we said yes to a possibility instead of routine. Possibility opens when we allow it. These are the moments we make from ordinary days. These are the moments we make in quiet, subtle ways. No grand design, just intention. We didn't wait for perfect timing, we didn't wait for perfect weather, we didn't wait for someone to tell us this was important. We decided it was. We stepped outside, we lingered longer, we chose to stay awake in places that felt alive. Importance is often a sign. These are the moments we make between work and rest. These are the moments we make, the quiet ones I love best. No spotlight shining, still bright. I think about the small shifts, turning left instead of right, stopping for something sweet, sitting by the window just to watch light change. They didn't alter the world, but they altered us. They reminded us that life doesn't have to be grand to feel meaningful. Meaning grows where attention rests. These are the moments we make from simple choice. These are the moments we make when we use our voice to say why not. There's courage in small joy, and laughing too long, and dancing without rhythm, and chasing sunsets that last only minutes. We weren't chasing perfection, we were chasing presence, and presence turned into memory before we even realized it. Presence transforms time. These are the moments we make before they fade away. These are the moments we make that quietly stay. No trophy awarded, just warmth. Sometimes the world moves moves quickly, deadlines, expectations, unfinished lists. But inside those rushing hours we carve space, not dramatically, just intentionally. A shared glance, a lingering pause, a small rebellion against monotony. Space created becomes sanctuary. These are the moments we make in between the noise. These are the moments we make through tiny choices. No chaos required, just us. I realize now that love isn't only measured in milestones, it's measured in repetition, and how often we choose to turn ordinary into special. How often we refuse to let a day pass without at least one intentional spark. Repetition builds foundation. These are the moments we make again if we choose. These are the moments we make with nothing to lose. No scripted ending, just continuation. Years from now when details blur, it won't be the grand plans that stand out first. It will be the laughter echoing in small rooms, the late night walks, the spontaneous yes, the quiet evenings claimed as ours. Because what lasts is not spectacle, it's sincerity. Sincerity outlives spectacle. These are the moments we make again if we choose. These are the moments we make with nothing to lose. No scripted ending, just continuation. We don't control time, we don't control everything, but we control this, how we respond to the space between events. We can let it pass quietly, or we can fill it with intention. These are the moments we make. Soft decisions, steady hands, shared direction. So when tomorrow comes and the day feels ordinary again, let's remember how easily we turned it into something memorable. Not with grand gestures, not with elaborate plans, but with willingness, with presence, with simple shared choice. Because in the end, love isn't only what happens to us, it's what we create moment by moment together.